Hi guys, welcome to 2018. Yes, we made it. 2018, leaving 2017 behind. We have so much to do for 2018 now, don't we? Things we didn't do in 2017. More travel, getting on board as a flight attendant, concerning our health and finance, getting all that stuff straightened out in 2018. Not all at once, because as we know, things take time. So we'll build little by little. But first, let's talk about some of the frequently asked questions that I get asked as a flight attendant. Let's start the new year off with that. What do people ask me? The most frequent. So one of the most frequently asked questions I get when I'm out there flying about, people always ask, as flight attendants, do we share rooms? No. We get our own rooms. Now, disclaimer, I'm not speaking for every airline, but this is basically the major airlines. We do not share rooms. We get our own room, thank goodness. Would I be a flight attendant if we had to share rooms? Probably still would, but I pay for my own. Don't tell them that. Another question that I get, still along the same lines, do we pay for our hotel rooms? No, we do not. That is paid for by the company. Again, would I be a flight attendant if I had to pay my own room? Maybe. Don't tell them that again. Another question I get is, do we fly the same routes? No. For the majority of the airlines, we do not fly the same routes every week or day to day, especially if you're new and especially if you are a reserve flight attendant. You fly different routes, different days, different schedules, month to month, or sometimes day to day. So if you are a senior flight attendant, that may be a whole, when I say senior, I mean senior. That's a whole other ball game. Sometimes they can fly some of the same routes because, hey, they've earned it and they're seniors. Another interesting question, do we fly with the same crew all the time? No. Usually the crew, when we come on, that's our first time meeting. When we start our 3-day, 4-day, 6-day, whatever it is, usually it's the first time meeting. Now, that doesn't mean that you never fly with the same people. Yes, you do. Yes, you can. If you enjoy flying with someone, you can kind of set it up that way, where you do fly together. It's called different things at different airlines, but you can set it up. And it's usually fun when you can fly with your friends. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I usually have a friend that I fly with. We haven't flown together lately, but it is fun when we fly together. Another question that I get, how often do we see our families? Well, that's a good one because it varies from airline to airline and even within the same airline. If we choose to see them every 3 days, every 4 days, we can. If we choose to see them once a month, we can. It all depends. Let's say, for example, I have a crash pad in Baltimore and I live in Orlando. So if I choose to work 6 days in a row, 1 day off, 6 days in a row, 1 day off. Well, when I have that 1 day off, I'm going back to my base. That means I'm sleeping in the crash pad. So no, I'm not flying back to Orlando to see my family just for a few hours. I mean, you can if you want to. I don't know why you would, but that's just an example. I'm not saying you have to do that. You may say you want to work, 3 days and you're back to seeing your family for the next 4, 5, 6, however long you'd like to see them. Like I said, every airline is different. And some airlines are more flexible than others. Thank God I'm with an airline that's very flexible. Another question is, how long are our layovers? Well, it all depends on how long your duty day is. Sometimes they're 12 hours, sometimes they're 15 hours, sometimes they're 20 hours. Sometimes 24 hours, depending on where you're going. And sometimes with some carriers, 48 hours. Another question, do we get free flights? Okay, so like I said before, it may be different for all airlines, but for the major ones, this is probably standard. So free flights, yes, we fly for free. If it's your own carrier, you can fly for free. Sometimes you must pay taxes depending on where it's at. Can we fly other carriers? Yes. For example, let's say I work for JetBlue or I work for American and I want to fly United. If my airline has an agreement with United, I can fly on United and pay the taxes. Your mother, now this is how it normally goes. Now, don't quote me on it, but usually it's your mother, your father, your children under a certain age, or up until a certain age, all have benefits just like you. And here's another one I've been asked. Can a husband and wife or spouses fly the same airline and fly together? Absolutely yes. Yes, they can. I've flown with quite a few flight attendants that are married. It's cute, weird, cute. I don't know if I could fly with my husband. I'd be too bossy, I think. And another question that I get asked is, as flight attendants, are you able to get discounts on hotels when you're not working? Well, that all depends. If it's your airline's what we call crew hotels, usually there's a discount. Now, how much that discount is all depends on your airline. But sometimes, yes, if there are rooms available. Okay, so here's a good question, guys, that I usually get. Let me turn this way. Oops. The pay. Do flight attendants get paid well? Well, it all depends on what you mean by being paid well. For what we do, I cannot speak, now this is hard because I can't speak for all airlines. Some airlines pay a lot better than other airlines. It all depends, but I can say that for what we do on some airlines, we are paid very well, and people would be very surprised. So sometimes, you know, we get people that come on the aircraft, and yes, sometimes we get treated like not with a lot of respect as flight attendants that we would like. And I think because they think, you know, we make nothing. Wrong, people. We do. You'd be surprised. And yes, I answered this particular question on another video, but how old do you need to be a flight attendant? Well, usually we serve alcohol on board, so if you're 21, like I said, I'm only speaking of the US carriers. I'm not particularly sure of the other carriers, but usually 21 up to 110. Check out my other video where I answer that. Do we get time to explore cities? Yes, we do, but sometimes they're very short layovers where you just have enough time. You get in, you take your war paint off, you take your uniform off, you go to bed, you get up, and you do it all over again. So, usually yes, but sometimes. So there you go, guys. Those are the questions that I seem to be asked frequently, all the time. Hope I answered even some of your questions. If you have any more questions, just comment below. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next video. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome aboard. Here where we talk travel, airline, health, wellness, and finances that I've added for 2018. See you guys on the next video.